welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well. Today we are going to be working on building myself a new guitar stand. I have 7 guitars that are on a like little rickety PVC stand that I built, I don't know, over a decade ago. And it's starting to fall apart and guitars are falling off of it, so I decided it's time to build something a little more sturdy, especially seeing as my daughter's been playing with my guitars more often. I don't want her knocking a bunch of guitars on herself, so that's what we're going to work on today. Let's go ahead and get started. Using to build this stand is some old shelves that I have that just aren't being used. I have this shelf here that had fallen apart. It was in my wife's classroom and she had a leaky window that the bookcase was right by, and it ended up destroying that shelf, so it's not really usable as a shelf anymore. So I'm gonna use it for a guitar stand. I've did a little crude drawing of what I want, mostly just for dimensions, not really necessarily the look, because what I have will dictate what the look is going to be. So what I'm going to start doing is figure out the dimensions of everything I have and the dimensions of what I'm going to need, and start figuring out what boards are going to be used for what, and then I guess start cutting after that. So let's go ahead and start getting all this stuff marked out and figure out what we're going to do. Alright, so I got all that measured out. I'll show you what I got going on. So these two pieces are measured out to 14 inches, so they're going to be my sides, like so. Then I have these two pieces measured to 30 inches. They're going to be my fronts on the bottom, like so. This I have measured out to 30 inches as well. That's going to be my top bar. It goes across. And then this is measured out to 29 inches and 29 inches. These are going to be my sides. Now I haven't decided if I'm going to keep them square or if I'm going to go like an angle or something. But I think for right now I'm just going to cut them out rectangle, and then we'll figure it out as we go whether we want to do that or not. So go ahead and start cutting this stuff down to length and start kind of piecing it up. Alright, so I got all those cut down. What I think I'm going to do now is assemble the bottom first. So I got my front and back here, and then my two sides and this side. And I'm just going to screw them into each other, and then get them all squared, screw them into each other, and then I'll start working on the sides next, and then the top bar piece. Alright, so as you can see, I got my bottom little, I guess, box you'd call it, all built, and then I went ahead and attached the sides, just used 4 screws there. I did my little top bar across. I have this foam that I used for making a, I think it was a microphone case out of a DeWalt drill case, actually. So I think I'm gonna use that on the bottom to kind of just protect the guitars. And I have more of it. This is just a small piece, but here's the bigger piece. I grabbed one of my guitars just to kind of test. So you can see it's gonna kind of, this is hard to do with one hand, but you can see it's gonna sit on the foam there down in the bottom and then kind of lean up against here. And I haven't quite figured out what I'm gonna do on this bar here to hold the guitars from going, side to side or whatever. But I think that's what we're gonna work on next, is figuring that out. And then once I get that figured out, I'm gonna put something in the bottom to kind of be the base. And then I'll put something across the bottom here to kind of be the base, and then put the foam on top of that. And then I haven't quite decided if I'm gonna paint the thing or just leave it, because pretty much nobody beyond this video is ever gonna see it. But I guess we'll figure that out as we go. All depends on how much time I have left at the end of the day, I guess, really. So we're gonna start working on figuring out what I'm gonna do about attaching the guitars to that top bar. So let's start figuring that out. Alright, so I know a lot of this isn't going to come out in that video because it's going to be too hard to see, but you can see I kind of have those little circles drawn out. That's where each guitar is going to go. I think what I'm going to do is just hole saw them out, and then just use a hole saw and drill out each circle, and then from there I'll take my square up to the edge of the circle, and then draw a line straight down, and then use my saw to drill out the rest, or cut out the rest, I guess I should say. And then I think what I'll do is each of these is going to be slightly wider than the neck of each guitar, even my basses. And I think what I'll do is I'll line them somehow with either some felt or something. I don't know, I'll have to look around and see what I have available. Maybe an old sweatshirt even. That might actually work pretty well now that I'm thinking about it. So, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. For right now, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just drill out all those holes, and then go from there. Alright, got that all taken care of. They're a lot bigger than I thought they needed to be, but that's okay. Well, I mean, there'll be a little slot, but I think that gives me room to put something in here to pad them and keep them from marring up the guitars, so that's perfect. So now I think what I'm gonna work on is I'm gonna go in and do some sanding and stuff, clean it up, and then I think, oh, I've got this upside down. No wonder it looked funny. That looks better. So yeah, I'm gonna go in and do some sanding and clean it up a little bit, and then start figuring out what I want to do for the bottom. I think I'm gonna use that board that's under there, just trim it down and put it in the middle, and then I'll use that to put the affix the foam on. So we'll work on that next, but first let's get this cleaned up and attached. Alright, as you can see, I got it attached. Got a guitar in there just for demonstration purposes. So I think next what I'm going to do is work on that bottom piece along there. Figure out what I'm going to do for that. And then get the foam in there as well at the same time. Which I got to figure out. I want to cover that too. I don't want the foam just looking like that green stuff. So got to figure out what I'm going to cover that with. And then guess figure out if I'm gonna paint it or not. We'll see. So let's get that bottom attached. We got the I got the bottom attached. Just screw it to the sides again and into the bottom. Got that little board in there to just kind of hold the foam in place. Then got the foam in, got it all cut down. I unfortunately don't have the right thing to cut the foam with, but I just used scissors and that worked okay. So that's what I did. So that foam's in there now. So the only thing I need to do now is cover the foam somehow, and then cover those real quick. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that. So I'm gonna go look around, see what I have, and start working on that. Saw there that I got it all put together. So what I ended up using was I had this it's just like styrofoam stuff that you put around like sprinkler pipes or something like that. So I just cut that into little strips and just put it in here and then just hot glued it. You can see it made them much tighter in a lot of them, so there's less wiggling from side to side. Fits nice and tight. I might have a little problem getting my bases in, but other than that, I think we're good. So I think now it's time to take this to the basement and throw the guitars on it. So in just a matter of a few hours today, we've gone from this to this. So it looks really awesome. The only thing it needs now is painted, maybe stickered up a little bit, just because I have a bunch of stickers I don't know what to do with, so might as well put them on this guy, right? And then cover that foam, but that's all stuff I can do off camera. Not anything I'm too worried about for the purposes of this video. But yeah, I mean, the goal was to make something that looked custom, which of course this looks custom, and something that'll hold the guitars a lot better, which, I mean, that other stand, it moved around so much, it was horrible. And then also to just, you know, make something that separates the guitars a little better, because, I mean, before the guitars were all touching each other and we're all starting to scratch each other up and everything, so this is much better. Takes up a little more space, but I think that's okay. And yes, you can buy stands for cheap. I mean, I've been keeping an eye on one on Groupon for a while that's only $25 for an 8 guitar stand, but I don't know. I just like the look of this better than those little metal stands. Plus, I feel like this is going to be a lot more sturdy and safer with my daughter around, so. Thanks again for joining. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I hope you're all doing well. And if you could like and subscribe, that would be great. Alrighty, see you guys in the next video.